Hey guys, welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. I'm going to do a quick market recap today, as well as go over some tickers. So let's get right into it. First one, SPX. So nothing major. The chop is still remaining. On the 4 hours, we are still within that wedge. We did break bear under the wedge lower trend line today. However, it was immediate buy up. So if you're looking at the chart today early on, you can see that it was a little bit of a warning sign from 7:30 to 8 o'clock as an increasing bear volume. We did break under that trend line as well. However, coming 8:15, even though it was low bull volume, this kind of immediate buy up going above this candle, that was a sign for dip buying. It was a little bit more cautious here, and then upon this candle, there was still no volume. But on the break of this key resistance 43.94, that was a goal sign. And over the rest of the day, we bought up, bull flag, bought up, bull flag, confirm, bull flag, confirm again until that upper trend line, and we were rejecting from the upper trend line. So on the daily on SPX, there's no major concern yet. As mentioned, majority of the dips should be bought in the sense that, because if we look at SPX and all the leading indicators, not SPX, US dollars being the first leading indicator, there's no sign of major bears to be coming in the market, as well as US 10 years, no sign of major bear coming in, as well as Bitcoin, it's a little bit pullback, but we did run early, and gold as well, no major signs, unless these majority of these break bull. Yeah, and as majority of this break bull, aside from BTC, if BTC were to break bear, then that is a warning sign. So next is NAS. NAS, there's no major warning sign as well. We did get over, however, that major trend line that we're looking at short-term wise on the hourly. This is a key trend line that we were looking at for the hourly, and we did break both over it. This short-term wedge, let's see, if we were to draw a trend line from the bottom, almost touch. So depending how you draw it, you can likely it's a touch. Short-term wedge, 1, 2, 3 touches in the bottom, 1, 2, 3 touches on the top, and we did break bull over it. So short-term wise, no major concern. Long-term wise, bull volume still outwearing bear volume. Oh my goodness. Bull volume still outweighing bear volume. There we go. All right. Next is Russ. Russ is noticeably a little bit weaker. So there is a little bit of red flag on Russ in the sense that every buy up is getting sold off into vice versa of SPX. So first sign that we saw was 12 o'clock from July 20th. We did break bull over this trend line. Somewhat of immediate sell pressure. This was not really a concern because it was only half of the sell pressure. Sideways before confirming another bull movement. Now, however, there is a trend line, and yesterday was the major concern where we broke bull over the trend line but rejected, and broke to new highs too, but still rejected from the GP, and huge rejection with follow through. Bear flag, follow through again, bear flag, almost follow through. Then overnight last night, we saw some bull volume, bull price action before early morning this today. What I was looking for early today was something similar to this, see if we get a buy up before a sell off. But today is a little bit, it's actually vice versa. In the sense that today, early morning, right at the open, it was a straight sell-off, and from there we touched the 0.782 as well as the lower trend line. So that trend line is not too clear on this trend line, because the way that should be drawn is like this, which means if you look at this, yeah, so support, so we bounce, support again over here. And now technically we broke bear, and now we back tested this trend line and seeing a little bit of bearish action follow through again. So be aware on Russ. Currently is relatively weak to SPX as well as NAS, which is okay, because over the long term, I do believe Russ should have bullish action coming in. Right now, part of the reason for that is when we look at QQQ IWM, QQQ over IWM, we still didn't touch that GP yet. Essentially, if we look at the 4 hours, all we did was touch the lower part of the key zone, came back tested this trend line again. So we rejected here, support here, double support here again. So there is a potential that NAS is going to continue to be stronger than Russ and touch or reject from the GP, at least meet the GP before rejection. So there is a chance for that. Keep your eyes on NAS over the next little while, which timeline wise does match up in my yesterday's video, that if for Apple, if you look at the previous dividends, Apple tends to have a drop after the dividend date. So keep that in mind if you're playing, whichever you're playing, whether it's Russ or NAS. I do believe over the next few days, a week kind of thing, NAS is going to continue to be stronger than Russ before a rotation into Russ being stronger. Next is Dow. Still hovering in that top, the all-time high zone. Nothing new. We are near that all-time high. Let's see if overnight can break over it. If not, would anticipate another rejection from here and another touch on this lower resistance. Okay, let's go over some tickers. First one, BTC. So as we discussed earlier, early breakout into bull, early bull breakout with a rejection, lots of bear divergence here, and now we're seeing, oh, I can't believe that actually worked out. This is just something that, is like an estimated bull flag that I was looking for. There's an early bull flag breaking out, but now coming back to finding that support. So now this is a trend line on this lower part now. Depending on how you draw it, you could also draw it like this. That might be a little bit more accurate. But let's give it a couple more days. We are seeing some lower wicks forming. On the daily, we did lose the daily 8. Weekly is still above the weekly 8. It is increasing bear volume on the daily, so that is very notable. It is lower than the bullish volume on the way up. 0.382 touch. So right now, Bitcoin is still relatively strong. We do not want to, ideally the bulls do not want to lose today's low. If today's low were to be lost, we would be looking back at this previous resistance that we discussed, 35,692, which lines up with the 0.5 fib. Next is HIVE. So far is going as we anticipated. Next leg, move up, touch the trend line. If we're to zoom in, we can see it touch the trend line, and now we're having a little bit of trouble with it. Tomorrow should tell a story whether we're going to break straight through it. So the other way, I don't know why we didn't mark it, but the other possibility of what this could look like would be breaking bull, coming back. Actually, let's draw a fib. Let's see where the so break bull, come back to test the 0.5, or maybe just the trend line before next leg move up. It might make more sense to have this more so around here. Well, let's keep it at original. Let's see what happens. But right now we are at the key price. Tomorrow, over the next 2 days, we should see what the chart wants to do on HIVE. Next is AMD. Continue bullish action. No stopping this, no sign of topping. Again, if you're playing this, if you are in this, congrats, and there is no reason for exits yet. There's no red flags. The 88 remains your guide. If you're looking at longer or shorter time frame, just to be safe, then RD8 should be your guide. We have not lost the RD8 ever since the beginning of this move. RD8 remains the guide. Next is Tesla. So Tesla, we are seeing a little bit of pullback as anticipated. Hasn't really started yet. So we did gap up and then sell off into yesterday's high. Nothing special. Let's see, the bear volume is low so far. So overall, the chart is still relatively strong. Let's see what the next couple of days brings. There is a chance that we could just completely break bull over here before a rejection. So going up like this, rejecting before the next leg move up kind of thing. Okay, whatever. Not really seeing a notable resistance here though, maybe a little bit. So this might make sense. Couple possible scenarios. One is bearish, one is bullish. So always keep both scenarios in mind, both thesis in mind. Make sure you have your bull thesis as well as bear thesis if you're making an entry, if you're playing anything nowadays. It's the market is not nearly as easy as before. Now it's a lot more chop versus 2020. All right, next is MRNA. Moderna. Similar to AMD. No reason for stopping here. Well, aside from this one candle. This might have been news or something. Earnings is coming up on August 5th. So Thursday. Increasing volume. Bear divergence forming or has formed, but due to the close, I don't anticipate any. There's no red flag yet. Okay, so the last bear divergence, we can see that from the bear divergence, we actually had another 64% run up. So if you're in the 88, obviously use your guide. The one time we closed under it, maybe even the weekly 8. Yeah, so depending on how you want to play it. If you're a shorter term, you go in and out kind of thing, then you can do probably the 4 hour. It did close under once, so might get faked out more. The 80 looks a little bit better, but looking at this chart, every time it loses the 88, there's not too much follow through. So just keep that in mind if you are playing off of the 88. Every time I lost it, so for example down here, there was 15%. Okay, so still decent. This one definitely had decent follow through, 30-some%. But if you look at this one, it's only 6%. So the follow through on the bear break of daily divergence is not a whole lot. But with earnings coming up, I would anticipate further clarity to come up on which direction the chart wants to go going forward. Next is Hood. Yeah, I'm going to do a couple more. Hood is next, maybe 3 more. So not the traditional IPO that you've seen, eh? Hood after hours broke over 50. So traditional IPO, you know, at the first day it gets bought up, and then the rest of the 2-3 weeks kind of thing, it just straight sell off. So instead, Hood, the first day we saw selling action. This double bottom was sort of a gold signal. 33.25, 33.35, and lower wicks both forming. Next day was kind of interesting. Lower bullish volume, but increasing price action. So this tells me that there's a lack of sellers. Likely a lack of sellers. Today, huge bull volume. Squeezing the bears, squeezing the shorts. Very likely that a lot of people shorted this upon IPO, as majority of people would short IPOs. But from the looks of it, Robinhood, we all know what happened to AMC, GME, Wish, all those meme stocks, they get squeezed. Hood, that should have been in anticipation as one of the stocks to be most likely to be squeezed. And HIVE, it is getting squeezed right now after ours is up. Today was up 24%. After ours is up another 9.12%, trading at 51.07 right now. So overall, today's movement alone is about 30-some%. I do see continuation on this. There is no sign of climaxing yet. No sign for exit yet. There's not even a daily 8. This could very well go to 60, 70 bucks before a pullback. So if you're in HIVE, congrats. Just stay in it until a significant red flag shows you, telling you to exit. As of right now, no significant red flags. Probably use the 30-minute or the hourly 8, depending on what tomorrow looks like. So if you zoom into the 30-minute, you can clearly see big bull volumes, lack of sellers, very clear low bear volume, very clear low bear volume again, huge bull volumes. So HIVE definitely getting squeezed. I do see continuation on it. Next one is SCR, score. Let's look at the Canadian side. There's a little bit more charts, a little bit more story behind the chart. So score, we did break bull over this previous trend line that was keeping us down, and we saw huge follow through so far. Okay, so rejection. Let's take a closer look. Broke bull, came back, gap down, support, and now we're seeing huge bullish action, follow through. Chart looks amazing. For those of you that watched the video when I talked about the target was $17, between 17 to 19 kind of thing, in this top of the zone. And that's why I marked the 1830. It's going to be around the 1830, but likely the $17 because of this lower trend line. We did make the 17, but we did not touch the lower trend line. So that's a little bit of a missed entry in that sense. Majority of the time, I guess, depending on how you draw it. Yeah, I can't really see any other way to draw it. Majority of the time, it should touch the lower trend line before a crazy bull movement like such as today. So we came back. There's got to be another way to draw this. So let's say so as a matter of fact, it's just using the most recent low to, the 1570 to the second most recent low. That would form that most recent low of 1782. Anyways, so missed an ad on this, but the chart looks great. Increasing bull volume. I do see this going up to likely another touch on this upper trend line. How long that's going to take is another story. We could be looking at I don't really like this key zone. I like the support, the resistance a little bit more actually. So we could be looking at something like this, coming back down to maybe the 0.5, and then a touch. That would be my best guess for score. All right, next, last but not least, Amazon. So we saw some bullish action today. Finally, 3 days doozy. And the big middle finger here, FU kind of thing. From here, today we saw bullish action, a little bit weaker going into the close, but there is a 30-minute bull flag formation, and we can see decreasing bear volume, relatively low bear volume comparing to the bull volumes. 730 was here, a little bit of a sell-off. 930, the bullish volume came in. We can see likely there is lack of sellers similar to HIVE now, and especially going into the close 1230 to 130, the 1 hour, there is very little bear volume. Then the bullish volume came in again. So Amazon, keep your eyes on it, and I would anticipate, as mentioned before, at the very minimum, a gap fill eventually. Whether that's going to be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months kind of thing, there will be a gap fill, which is from here another 7% upward price action. All right, so that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. And I do apologize for keeping today's video short. Gotta take the dog out. It's been a while since he's been to the park. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the content. If you know anyone who could benefit from the videos that we provide, the content that we provide, please do consider sharing our channel with them. Would really appreciate that. Again, thank you. I will see you in the next video.